everyone, it's Yulan's channel. So we just went over memories, but how do we actually think and problem solve? So keep watching this video if you want to find more about that. So for problem solving, there are two ways by which you could solve problems. The first one is algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step method that guarantees to solve a particular problem. For example, if you lost your phone, the algorithm might look like this. First, remember where you put the phone last. If you don't, go to the next step. Second step is that retrace your steps. If you can't, go to the next step. And this is our final and last step. Call your phone to determine the location. Algorithms are process-oriented. And the second way of problem solving is heuristics. A heuristic is also known as a rule of thumb. Using heuristic is a quick way to solve a problem, but it is usually less effective than using an algorithm because it is more error-prone. Heuristics also involve using trial and error. An example of a heuristic would be trying to find the x value that makes this equal true. 3x plus 6 equals 24. You might plug in multiple x values until you determine the x value that works. Heuristics are the opposite of algorithms and are more result-oriented. We use our mental stats, schemas, prototypes, and concepts automatically when using heuristics. A small tip here is that when problem solving, think about algorithms as the long way and heuristics as the shortcut. You use a mixture of these two when taking a test and overall in everyday life activities. And trial and error is when you try to solve a problem multiple times using multiple methods. If you try to solve a problem one time using one method, the next time you solve it, you may use a different method. This process is repeated until a solution is reached. So how do we think? The first one is mental set. A mental set is when individuals try to solve a problem the same way all the time because it has worked in the past. However, this doesn't mean this problem-solving method is applicable to the problem at hand or will work for other people. Having a mental set makes it harder to solve problems. Similarly, fixation is the inability to look at the problem with a different perspective. Intuition is colloquially known as a gut feeling. It is sensing something without a direct reason and basically an automatic thought. When problem solving and making difficult decisions, our brain intuits for us. As we learn and grow, our intuition does too. Our learned associations surface as this gut feeling that we have because of how we know the world works around us. Then we have insight. Insight was discovered by Wolfgang Kohler. It occurs when an individual has an all-of-the-sudden understanding when solving a problem or learning something. It's a light bulb moment. Inductive reasoning is a reasoning from something specific to something general, which puts your thoughts into concepts and groups. A fun fact is that Sherlock Holmes used inductive reasoning. And finally, we have deductive reasoning, which is kind of the opposite of inductive reasoning, as the name suggests, as you can see. So deductive reasoning is a reasoning from something general to something specific. Think of mind maps. You have one central idea in the middle, and this is really general, and then branch out into specific ideas. They are usually more logical. Did you ever wonder how we get our creativity and to the extent to which it exists? Being creative is having the ability to produce ideas that are valuable. That's it. We are all creative in our own way. There are 5 components of creativity. First is expertise. The more knowledge we have, the more ideas we build. Knowledge is the foundation of every idea that comes about. Generally, greater intelligence leads to a higher creativity. According to the threshold theory, a certain level of intelligence is necessary for creative work. However, it's not necessarily sufficient, meaning other factors play in when it comes to creativity. Second is imaginative thinking skills. In order to be creative, you must be open-minded and see things in different ways. These skills also include being able to make connections and recognize patterns in ideas. Third is a venturesome personality. Be willing to take risks, explore ideas, and try new things. Fourth, we have intrinsic motivation. This is to be driven by your interests and the will to explore for your own satisfaction. And finally, we have a creative environment. All of the things mentioned fuel your creativity, but creativity can exist without a supportive environment. There are 2 ways of thinking. First is convergent thinking. This is a more logical way of thinking in which we narrow the solutions to a problem till we find the best one. Convergent thinking is used in IQ and intelligence tests. Divergent thinking is a more creative way of thinking. You can think of this as a brainstorming and diverging into different directions of thought. Rather than finding the best solution, divergent thinkers expand the number of solutions. Divergent thinkers have a much easier time on problem solving since they have more of an open mind to try and solve different solutions. Thank you for listening, and I will try to please comment and like this video if you want to hear more about like a specific neuroscience or psychology topic.